So diabetes, whether it be type 1 or type 2, is something that many Americans live with on a daily basis, and that is including children.
And to give us more information about it is Tricia Johnson. She's the Advocacy Chair for the American Diabetes Association on the North Dakota Board. Hi, Tricia.
Hello.
Good morning, Tricia. So, Tricia, I have to ask right away, what's the difference between type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes?
So I have type 1 diabetes myself. It's previously kind of known as the juvenile diabetes. A lot of people got it when they were younger. That is changing. More people are getting older and getting type 1 diabetes. I don't produce any insulin, so I need an insulin pump, or some people use insulin shots. Type 2 is more managed by diet and exercise, sometimes medications. They just are resistant to absorbing the insulin, basically, so they don't need to actually inject insulin. They're still producing, it's just not absorbing as much.
Okay, so you had mentioned diet and exercise with type 2 diabetes. Mm-hmm. Is type 2 diabetes reversible?
Yes.
Okay.
For the most part, I would say, if managed correctly. I'm obviously not a doctor, so they might disagree with me, but from what I've heard and what I see, yes. Type 1, there's no cure for type 1 diabetes. Maybe someday, fingers crossed. So.
And Tricia, I think I was reading that with type 1 diabetes, it was like 15% of Americans end up with type 1, and then type 2 diabetes, that's the one that is very prevalent within the country.
Yes,
Okay.
that is definitely correct. And I think those numbers obviously change over the years, but type 2 is more, it's more prevalent in America.
Sure. And can you tell us some statistics of diabetes in our state of North Dakota?
Yeah, so it's reported that 66,000 people in North Dakota have diabetes, type 1 or type 2. I would say that there's probably more than that. People just haven't been diagnosed yet, and that type of thing.
Okay.
So what are some of the symptoms of, let's say, type 2 diabetes, where someone may say, okay, something's not right here, but they don't quite realize that it's diabetes?
Right. I would say some just general all over diabetes symptoms would be like cotton mouth, you're drinking a lot of water. If you're a child, they may be wetting the bed a lot more. We report a sugary breath sometimes, and I would say that's for type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Call it diabetes breath or sugar breath, which is kind of weird, but it is a thing. Yeah.
Okay. And I understand that Camp Sioux might be going through some changes. Can you tell us about Camp Sioux?
Yeah, so Camp Sioux, that's what it previously is known as, and our new camp name is actually Camp Maverick. I know that some of our previous campers knew that this change was going to be coming, so Camp Maverick is the new camp name.
How fun. And can you tell us a little bit about what happens at Camp Maverick, newly named, right? I know it's a place where children can go and have a great time, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so obviously you go if you have diabetes. There are doctors, there's diabetic educators, there are nurses there 24 hours a day. We are doing blood sugar checks together. We are going to do water activities together. We're singing camp songs together. Really everything that you do at any camp, it's just a little spice added to it, and you have diabetes.
And Tricia, you had mentioned that you have type 1 diabetes. When did you find that out?
Actually, in December here, in a few weeks. It's been 15 years. I was 12 years old, and I went in. It was December 23rd. I did not feel very well. I had a really bad tummy ache. I had been wetting the bed previously, and ended up in the hospital and was diagnosed.
So, and just, talking about children and the camp and yourself, because you know firsthand experience, how important is it to have a resource like Camp Maverick?
Yep.
Maverick in place for children who may have type 1 or type 2 diabetes?
I will say that it was a lifesaver for me. I went there as a camper. I then was a CIT, which is a counselor in training. I was a counselor then, and then I've worked beside the director the last couple years when we did have camp before COVID, training staff and just being a part of camp still. I'm going to be 28, and it's still my favorite thing of the year. The emotional connections that I've created with people there have been life-changing for me, and just having someone that knows what I'm going through has been so helpful for me.
Well, I do want to say our hats are off to you. You know, you're close to, you're so close to diabetes, and you know what it's like firsthand. And now you're, you know, on the North Dakota board. I mean, just helping our community. You said you were a counselor, so thank you, Tricia. Any fun events that are happening?
Yeah, so an event coming up is Giving Hearts Day. I know many people around the community do this as well. Giving the money that we get for Giving Hearts Day goes towards camp, and that just helps us pay for medical supplies, food, activities to do like tie-dye. Sometimes it even helps campers that may not have all the funds to make it to camp, so that type of thing. We do look for donors and matchers sometimes if they would like to donate any money to Giving Hearts Day. They can be a company or just an individual themselves.
Okay.
Well, Tricia, thank you so much for being here. We do appreciate it.
Thanks.